This is Minister Paul, a watchman on the wall. It's Friday the 13th, 16. Something led me to check on Obama's actions at the whitehouse.gov again, and I do this often. I want to let you know, did President Barack Obama just telegraph a set week that is alarming, or some type of code to others to expect medical emergencies? Now keep in mind, as a minister, I'm not saying, this is going to happen or this is like a prophecy or anything like that. What I do is I look at things that the Lord's showing me, and then I warn others. Often it doesn't come to pass for years. It doesn't manifest immediately, but I am obligated to show these things when I feel I'm being led by the Lord. And on this, I am. Nothing may come of it. Maybe it's just God telling us to pray. But this is in my backyard. So, this is just a follow-up on this video about hush-hush military operations and Chinook helicopters. So, here's the executive order. Presidential Proclamation, Emergency Medical Services Week 2016. Here's today's date, Friday the 13th. And the verbiage sounds really good, truth mixed with lies. He's giving praise for our EMS officers and police and firefighters. But it's language like this that disturbed me. And I ask you to comment what your thoughts are. And again, this is not a date setting thing. This is an observation and reporting thing. You with me? So the President of the United States here makes another proclamation that May 15th through May 21st. So that's this Sunday through Saturday. You with me? This coming Sunday through Saturday. An emergency medical services week. And then he says this: I encourage all Americans to observe this occasion by showing their support for their local EMS providers and taking steps to improve, here it is, their own personal safety and preparedness. So clearly he's announcing, and the whole world seems to be announcing just to prepare for all these things. So 35 minutes northwest of me, during this time period that he just proclaimed, there's military Chinook helicopters doing touch and goes. They're blacked out. They're flying like at 11:30 at night and later, 200 feet over people's houses. They didn't make any of this known to local law enforcement at the city level or the county level. And from what I understand, even the state level law enforcement said they couldn't comment on it. They didn't know nothing about it. And we have Beale Air Force Base, like 10 minutes from my house, they could have used to do this, but they chose an empty field in a crop duster location where they claimed they just randomly found it on Google Earth. Well, nothing is randomly found in the military, and this is the truth. And so this is hitting the media that this is going to go on for 7 days from the time that this posted. And that 7 days is scheduled to end on the 18th. What they are calling quote unquote training, although people are complaining that it's low flying over schools, they're blacked out, and nobody was notified. Even Beale Air Force Base, couldn't comment, saying they're not responsible for this. So what happens on the 18th? And by the way, they're called the Night Stalkers. It's the same special operation secret chopper pilots that aided in the raid of Osama bin Laden's compound. And now the media is trying to push forth Osama bin Laden's son as possibly the new head of Al-Qaeda. In other words, like, here we go. Here's another bad guy who we got to, fly over your houses and shake your windows without any notice because something we just made up and we know you'll believe because you're sheeple. Well, not me. So what happens on the 18th after this quote-unquote training ends? This. So the training, I don't believe it was training, unless they're training for us. 1252 right there at 37 was 35 minutes northwest of me, and now 30 minutes east of me. On the day that ends is a mass casualty exercise. Go back to being prepared and personal safety here. A mass casualty exercise on May 18th in Roseville. This is the city of Roseville. This is from the Placer County's website. They're talking about low-flying helicopters and scores of first responders and emergency vehicles and sirens and loud noises, and I'll put a link to all this, to ensure preparedness for a mass casualty event. And then here's Obama. Sorry, I have no love for this man. That's real. I mean, he's ruined our country. It's sad. I don't even get caught up in that. Personal safety and preparedness. Okay, and then the helicopters come in, and then they schedule this event. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to find my way over there. I know exactly where this area is. It's a 35-minute drive from where I'm sitting right now making this video. I'm going to go see if I can get anything on film that don't look right, and just, and if anyone asks me, I'm going to let them know I'm not happy with this kind of stuff. I mean, Roseville is the strangest place for this to happen. So what I'd like you to do is to take a look on May 18th, and especially this week, the 15th through the 21st that Obama just announced, to prepare preparation. Take a look and see if anything's happening in your city or your state in the United States, and just be observant and be aware and be ready and be awake.